All right, let's move on because we've got some things happening this week and really throughout the rest of the season that could throw a huge wrench into the college football year. Let's get it started.
What if Penn State beats Michigan?
Yeah, I love this. I love this thought, right? Because it's going to be difficult, one. So that means that we would have a great game on Saturday. And I'm rooting for a great game. Now, James Franklin has never beaten a top 10 team on the road. So it would mark a really significant milestone in that program and for James Franklin. It would set up just a monster 2 weeks, like I just talked about, between Minnesota and then Ohio State. And then you get, by the way, the benefit of having Ohio State in your building. And you would probably hope for some rain and slow them down and grow the grass up. I mean, it would be amazing. Now, their season, like I just told you, is right now. This 3 weeks, if they get through these 3 weeks, they're in the driver's seat. They're in the driver's seat for not only a Big Ten championship, but potentially a playoff. The problem is if they were to lose this week, then the best they can hope for is probably to try to nip Ohio State, then get into some sort of three-way tie in which I honestly don't really know what the tiebreakers are. You got to get to like the 8th tiebreaker, and then they start looking at your cross-division opponents and what their winning percentages are. You want to avoid that. You don't want to be 11-1 Penn State with 11-1 Ohio State and 11-1 Michigan. You just don't want that. So this week is huge, and if you want to avoid that three-way tiebreak, if you want to give yourself a chance to go to the playoff, winning this week at the Big House is where it starts. Last year, they were 5-0. They went to Iowa and they lost. Their season fell off a cliff, similar to what Oklahoma's has this year in 2022. In order to avoid that, they have got to run the football this weekend. If they run the football against that Michigan D, they're going to have a chance. They are definitely going to have a chance in that one. All right, next up.
What if Tennessee beats Alabama?
All right, now I mean, there's a lot of hype on this one, but we don't really think this is gonna happen, do we? It's like, do you think Tennessee's gonna win? If you tell me right now Bryce Young plays, I think Bama wins. Although I will tell you this, Bama struggles on the road. I've been telling you that since really last year and certainly since the beginning of this year. They struggled last year against, Florida. They lost to Texas A&M, 4 overtimes against Auburn. Went down to Texas, won by a point because Bryce Young put a cape on his back and was fantastic in the fourth quarter. Like, they haven't – listen, what they did last week was sloppy, but they got away with it. They can't play like that again, and that place will be on fire. On fire. Tennessee fans, you and I have an adverse relationship, certainly, but I will tell you, you guys have serious passion. That is going to be raucous. Neyland stands no chance if Tennessee were to win. I will say this, though. Bama has a bullet to play with here because even if they were to lose outside of their division, I don't see them not getting to the SEC championship game. Even if Bama loses, they still control their own destiny to go to the playoff because, as we know, Alabama and probably Georgia at this point too, they get the benefit of the doubt. They get the benefit of the doubt. And for Tennessee, you know what that would do? Tennessee would get basically a firm handshake from their dad and a big old good luck against Georgia because they would have Georgia's full attention. This is why I think it's so difficult for them to actually win their division, to actually go to the SEC championship game, to actually win the SEC and actually go to the playoff, is that even if they win this one, they're going to get Georgia's full attention in Athens. So that's why it's so difficult. All right, last up.
What if the Texas Longhorns run the table?
Ooh, I like that one. That one surprised me. I mean, could they get consideration? They might. I mean, that committee is supposed to take into consideration who's hurt, when they lose, style of game. With Quinn Ewers, that's one of the best teams in America. I was so impressed. So I watched the film of Red River already, and I just got to tell you, like, Steve Sarkisian is excellent as an offensive coordinator. By the way, later today, we're going to have Breaking the Huddle presented by Dr. Pepper on FS1. Make sure to check it out because I've got a breakdown of why Steve Sarkisian is so good and then also why coupling that with the talent of Quinn Ewers is electric. They're really good. If they were to go and run the table and win the Big 12, let's just play this out. I'll tell you what, let's create a scenario. Let me paint a scenario for you as we get ready to leave today. Let's just say there's 4 teams being considered for 3 spots. Let's say Georgia's in, they're the SEC champ. Let's say Clemson is in, they're the ACC champ. And let's say Ohio State is in, they're the Big Ten champ. And then there's 4 teams left that have all had really great seasons, okay? And here we are debating what's going on. Alabama 12-1, non-champ. Michigan 11-1, non-champ, non-division champ. USC or UCLA 12-1 champ, Pac-12. Texas 11-2, Big 12 champion. Who gets in? Who gets in? 4 teams for 1 spot. You can make an argument for almost all of them. The team that will likely get thrown out first is Michigan, okay? Because they would be a non-division champ. So then you're down to 3 teams, 1 spot. Alabama, non-champ. The Pac-12 champ, either USC or UCLA as a 1 loss, and then a 2-loss Texas. Basically, we would be down to relitigating the game in Austin, Texas and Alabama, the injury to Quinn Ewers. It would be a beautiful disaster, folks. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Texas has at least an argument at the end of the year if they were to go 11-2. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. That's a tough conference, and we've seen Texas take dips and lulls and not play well in weeks. I mean, heck, they lost to Kansas last year. Now, granted, Kansas was getting a lot better, but we'll see if Texas can do it. I kind of hope that they do because that would be an amazing exercise at the end of the season. Who gets in? Who gets in? Bama, non-champ, 1 loss. 1 loss, Pac-12 champ. Texas, 2 loss, Big 12 champ. Amazing. Amazing, and I root for chaos.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.